This house is made entirely of cork. It snaps together like Lego blocks, produces 90% less carbon than concrete, and was assembled in under 2 weeks. It also won one of architecture's most prestigious awards. So why isn't everyone building with cork? Well, here's what the construction industry doesn't want you to know. This is the Cork House in Eton, England, designed by architect Matthew Barnett Howland. It's not just another eco-project. It's a complete rethinking of how we build homes. Nearly all the structure is made from 1,268 prefabricated cork blocks. Each block is precisely cut and shaped. Then they interlock together. No concrete foundation, no steel frame, just cork blocks stacking like oversized Lego blocks. Traditional masonry construction needs months of work and often has weather delays and skilled labour shortages. But the Cork House? Well, the main structure was assembled in under 2 weeks. The blocks arrived on site, ready to go, and the building went up faster than a conventional brick house. A few years ago, back in 2019, this project won the RIBA Stephen Lawrence Prize. That's not just some minor eco-award, it's given to projects under £1 million that demonstrate exceptional architectural quality. The judges called it a beautiful and innovative use of a sustainable material. Matthew Howland's philosophy was simple. Use a material that's naturally sustainable, naturally insulating, and naturally beautiful. No hiding the cork behind the plasterboard, the material is the finish. But here's what makes this technically impressive. Cork is naturally fire resistant. It's rated Class B for fire performance without any chemical treatment. It's naturally water resistant, the actual cellular structure repels moisture. And it's naturally insulating, those millions of tiny air pockets trap heat incredibly efficiently. Also, each block is load-bearing. No hidden steel structure, no concrete core, just compressed cork doing all of the structural work, which shows complete engineering confidence in the material. So you might not know where cork actually comes from. It comes from cork forests, mainly in Portugal and Spain. The amazing part is that harvesting cork doesn't even harm the tree. Cork oak trees live for 200 to 250 years, and every 9 years you can harvest the bark, and it regenerates completely. The tree actually even benefits from regular harvesting because it stimulates growth and keeps the tree healthy. That means that one tree can be harvested 15 to 20 times in its lifetime. And as well as that, cork's thermal performance is exceptional. The R value, the measure of insulation effectiveness, is comparable to modern synthetic insulation. But cork is completely natural and biodegradable. Those millions of tiny air cells in the cork's cellular structure trap heat in the winter and keep it out in the summer. And then there's the environmental bonus. Cork oak forests support biodiversity. This isn't like what's happening in the Amazon. The cork oak forests are home to endangered species like the Iberian lynx and the Barbary deer. By creating the demand for cork in construction, we're actually incentivizing the preservation of these forests. And then you compare that to concrete, mining limestone, burning it at over 1,400 degrees Celsius, adding industrial waste products, transporting it globally. Whereas with cork, you harvest the bark, you process it minimally, and compress it into blocks. The environmental difference is pretty staggering when you think of it like that. A conventional concrete and brick house of a similar size has massive embodied carbon from cement production, from brick firing, from steel reinforcement. The Cork House has 90% less embodied carbon. Remember that concrete production alone accounts for around 8% of global CO2 emissions. That's more than the entire aviation industry. Every time we can replace concrete with a material like cork, we're making a significant dent in the construction sector's carbon footprint. However, if cork is so amazing, why isn't every new house made of it? Why isn't yours? Well, like everything, it comes down to money. The Cork House wasn't cheap. The cork blocks cost significantly more per square metre than conventional materials. For a standard developer building 100 houses on a site, the numbers just don't work yet. Scalability is the second challenge as well. The cork production is concentrated in Mediterranean countries, so ramping up production takes time. And remember, you can only harvest each tree every 9 years. The supply chain just isn't set up for mass construction demand. And then there's the industry resistance. Construction is very conservative, way too slow to adapt in my opinion. Builders know concrete and brick. They have suppliers, they have relationships, they have their proven methods. Switching to cork blocks means retraining workers, means finding new suppliers, and taking on the perceived risk. But things are slowly changing. Prefabrication and modular construction are becoming mainstream. Housing shortages on every continent is just forcing innovation. Carbon regulations are tightening. The conditions that made the Cork House possible in 2019 are becoming more common today. The Cork House proved something crucial. Cork isn't just for wine bottles and bulletin boards. It's a legitimate structural building material that can meet building regulations, it can win architectural prizes, and it can dramatically reduce construction's environmental impact. The question isn't whether cork can work. Matthew Barnett Howland already answered that. The question is whether the construction industry will embrace it before climate targets, which will become stricter over time, force their hand to do so. So the technology exists, the material is proven, the environmental case is overwhelming. Now it's just a case of when do we build differently? So I hope you enjoyed that video about cork. Thanks for watching. The YouTube algorithm believes that you'll be interested in this video. Have a watch.